I came in as a student, I've applied for the study visa. I think I'm in a very good position to share this important application checklist for your study visa applications. People have gotten rejections a lot lately. You can also try out the GIC certificate. Trust me, this one, if you can, please do it. Again, there's no time, and the visa officer makes their decision like this. Like once they see that things are looking scattered, they move on to the next person, and we are trying to avoid that here. With this checklist, I know that you are on your way to getting your visa approved. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Yemisi. On this channel I make videos about settling into Canada, migrating to Canada, whether as a student, permanent resident, or all the other legitimate means of coming to Canada. And I also share vlogs about my life settling into the country. If you're seeing my face for the first time, I moved to Canada in 2021 as a student, and I've transitioned over the years to becoming a permanent resident. So I came in as a student, I've applied for the study visa, I've done all of that. I think I'm in a very good position to share this important application checklist for your study visa applications. I'm doing this video because a lot of people have gotten rejections a lot lately, especially in 2025, and I understand there is the policy of reducing the number of immigrants that are coming into the country, and there's also negligence on the part of the study visa applicants and maybe agents. So I wanted to talk about this key application checklist that you should make sure to check whilst you're trying to apply for study visa application, because like I always echo it, a Canadian study visa application is not an interview type application. So you really need to make sure to put all your information accurately and clearly for the visa officer to be able to go through them and kind of understand them irrespective of your absence. Without further ado, if this video sounds like something that you're interested in, then continue watching the video. The first checklist is when you get your letter of acceptance from the university. Of course, before you can apply for a Canadian study visa, you have to get your letter of acceptance from the university or the college of your choice, which means you must have applied for admission prior to applying for your study visa application. So if you're coming for a May, which is spring session, then you must apply before the application ends, like the school application ends. So every school has different timelines, even for their different programs. So there's no standard timeline for any university or college, or even a standard timeline for different programs within the same university, because some programs starts in fall, which is September session, while some start in winter, which is January session, and some do start in May, which is spring session. So that's very important. You want to be sure that this university or college is a designated learning institution, because if they are not, then you would not qualify for the postgraduate work permit after study. Also, you want to be sure that it contains the program start and end date. I mean, most likely the tuition fee breakdown, and if they do not have it clearly, you can reach out to the admission office and they can send that to you. There's usually a link on the admission letter, or even like a small breakdown on the admission letter that tells you how much you are to pay for that semester or the session. So if you don't get it, then reach out to them. Also, you want to confirm that it's going to give you a full-time study status, because if you are not a full-time student, then you will not be able to work part-time as a student off campus. Also, you want to be sure that you are uploading the LOA, which is the letter of acceptance, as required. So of course there is a size that you have to follow, like a Canadian standard size that you have to follow. Also for your passport, there's a Canadian standard size that you have to follow, but we'll get to that. For a letter of explanation, ensure that all of these things are there so that you would be able to submit the right documents. So the next one, and I hope that you're jotting all of this down, the next one is proof of financial support. First, make sure that your funds cover your tuition fee or living expenses, which is $20,635 for a student that is living outside of Quebec. So for those living in Quebec, their prices are different. I've done a video on that before. I'll leave the video up here for you. So make sure that the proof of funds that you have is sufficient to cover that. And like I always echo it to you, make sure that it covers the tuition period and also the living expenses for the period that you'll be here. And in my opinion, I would say to also pay the first semester tuition fee and attach it to your Canadian study visa application. For the proof of financial support, make sure to include your bank statement, 6 months, 4 to 6 months minimum, and make sure that there is consistent savings. Like I mentioned in the previous video, and I think that you should go check that video out as well, where I was talking about some of the reasons why people are getting a lot of rejections these days. One of the reasons is because people have so much or so little. You're not having enough proof of funds, or you're having a lot of money in your account that you cannot explain or that doesn't have a history. Make sure that the money is consistent, so there is no lump sum. That's the word that we use in this immigration journey. Make sure that there is no lump sum in your account. For fixed deposits, where applicable, I used fixed deposits when I was trying to apply. So use investment accounts. It could be fixed deposits, it could be mutual funds, money markets, all of those type of investments. Make sure that you get a letter from your financial institution, and make sure that they put it there like it is clearly stated that this money can be liquidated whenever the owner of the application, like the principal of this account, wants to liquidate it. You can also try out the GIC certificate. Trust me, this one, if you can, please do it. GIC is Guaranteed Investment Certificate. For those that do not know, it's a kind of certificate or like an account that you keep in Canada, like you own in Canada. You open a GIC account with any of the financial institution here, and then you put in a fixed amount, so the money is fixed for you, and then every month when you come here, they disburse a certain amount that you must have agreed upon to you as a student. So it kind of shows ties here. It shows that you have extra funds, you know, all of that. So yeah, if you can, please do that. It's something that would really help to also prove financial support for you. Some other income proofs will be your job letter from wherever you're working, from your salary, that's your pay stub slips, business documents if you own a business. And for the employment side, like if you are not self-employed, like you work with a company, you get your pay slips, letter on the letterhead of your employer stating that you would be like an introduction letter, basically getting an introduction letter from your company letterhead introducing you and stating that you've been working there. Like make sure that all the information they match. You've been working as a business owner. Attach all your documents, your CAC documents. I did that because I used one of my parents' business, and I used the CAC document that showed that this person owns this business and can always support me whenever I need support. Also, affidavit of support from your parents or your guidance. So this one is if you are dependent on your parents or your guidance. That is, if you are below the age of 18, then you need an affidavit of support from them to show that whenever you need cash, they're going to help you. Also, you can get deed of assignments, all those legal documents that explains that you have access to, you know, your parents' property, or that is transferred to you. Tax returns of maybe your sponsor or your own if you are your own sponsor, and also or your guardian if that applies to you. So get their tax return. It also shows financial support. In a country like Canada, we file our taxes and then we get tax returns every year. That's if your money, like if you're not owing government. So that is also a proof of financial support, because your name will be there or your sponsor's name will be on the documents. And yeah, avoid unexplained large deposits. I've said this time and time again that lump sum is discouraged. Like, do not even try. Show your bank statement with lump sum in it. Some people are very good with showing screenshots instead of actual official bank statement from their banks. Your financial institution needs to either provide an investment letter, like a reference letter introducing you as the owner of the application, or your financial normal bank statement that we get showing that this is your account with your name on it, your address, your opening balance, your closing balance, the transactions in your account. Do not send screenshots. Make sure that it's the actual bank statement or the actual reference letter. Like, scan them as a continuous scan so that everything is together and it's not all over the place, because again, there's no time and the visa officer makes their decision like this. Like, once they see that things are looking scattered, they move on to the next person, and we are trying to avoid that here. The next one is a strong statement of purpose or a strong study plan. In this statement of purpose, make sure that you explain why you chose Canada, the school you're heading to, and the program of choice. Explain how that program fits into your career goals. Make sure that it is there in your application. Again, I'm saying all of this because I know that some people just apply for applying sake. Some people even use ChatGPT these days. It's not bad, but make sure that they, like, all the information that I'm explaining here, you check it on your letter. Also, explain why you're not doing the similar program in your country. For instance, you want to study MBA here in Canada. Of course, we have MBA in your country. You have universities in your country. So obviously, there's Masters of Business Administration in your country. Why are you not doing it there? Why are you doing it in Canada? Make sure that you sell a very good story and not something fictitious. Tie it to your goal, your career goal. The next one is your educational background and your career progression. Tie why you are doing MBA or why you're coming to study MBA to your career progression. Tie it together. Explain how that fits. So for instance, you studied business administration in your undergraduate and now you want to do Masters of Business Administration, and maybe the reason is because you want to have a business in the future, like a large scale business, something like that. Tie them together and write them down in the statement of purpose. Like I said in the previous video, whatever you think that the visa officer would be thinking, write them down, because you're not there to give them reason, like explain to them. Okay, so make sure you write them. Another one that is very important is your plan to return home. So it could be returning back to your job, returning back to your family, returning back to your business. Write them down in the application. Don't forget, the whole study visa immigration program is designed for you to come to study only, not to stay back, not to become a permanent resident. It's a study visa application, so you have to show plans to return back home. This is different from the PR application program where you are showing reasons to stay back here. Avoid generic language. Some people just do copy and paste, like I said, ChatGPT, online information, someone's information. Maybe the person did a video explaining what they got and then you just write it verbatim like that. Write it and make it specific to your story, to your objective. Also, if you have any gaps or unexplained career changes, then you have to explain it there. Do not ignore them. Unexplained career changes could be that you were working in this field before and something entirely different now. Explain why that is so. If you were not working for a while, explain the gap in your career or in your academics. Just explain them. Don't repeat your resume. Some people attach resume to their visa application, which you can do. So if you have it there, don't now start repeating your resume. This time around, you're just selling your plan to the visa officer and why they should approve your visa application. The next one is academic documents. Of course, you have to show your academic documents, whether or not you're coming in for your first degree, your second degree, your third degree. Of course, there are transcripts that you need to attach, right? All the degrees, the certificates that you have held, include them in writing in your statement of purpose and also attach them to your visa application. Make sure that if they are 2 or 3, like more than a page, scan it as a continuous scan. Make sure that it's not all over the place and make sure that you attach all the documents that are necessary to each other and not maybe page 1, page 2, page 3. Like, make sure it's continuous scan and it's clear, very visible to the visa officer. So if your application is not in English and you're going to an English institution, or if your application is not in French and you're going to a French institution, make sure that you have a translation. I think for that you would normally maybe write either TOEFL, IELTS, all those kind of, the equivalent of it also in French, in order to back up all your documents, or you get a reference from your university stating that you actually did your program in English or you actually did your program in French, depending on whichever one is applicable to your situation. So make sure that you attach those documents as well as proof for the visa officer to see. Everything here, you have to make sure that they are visible to the visa officer. The next one is ties to home country. Number one document that you have to check and add to your application is evidence of your family in your home country. So this could be pictures, marriage certificate, employment letter, pictures with maybe your boss, your colleagues, the name of the company showing in the background, all of that. So show all those things because they are also very important. Also show evidence of your job offer from your current company, ongoing future prospects, maybe your company business prospect that you have. Show all the CAC documents, the picture of the company area. If you want to go the extra length, you can also show an office plan, something like that. That's if you are the owner of the business. Of course, you have access to that. And any other documentation that shows that you actually own the business. Property documents showing ownership, like CAC document that I mentioned earlier, financial documents, everything that shows ties to home country. Maybe your pension document, that is also something that you can show, or any financial commitment, like an investment that you are doing in your country. Just any financial commitments that you have back in your home country, you can attach them. That shows proof of home ties. You can show travel history. You can show the evidence through like all the travel stamps that you have on your passport, you know, for all the countries you went to and you return back home. You can show them because that also shows that, oh, this person, when she comes, she will also go back to her home country, because that's the history here, right? So that's also something that you want to attach as well. This next one is the supporting documents that you need to attach. I have to look down for this one. Number one, passport. Show all the stamped pages, all the visas that you get, attach them because they can also help you. For example, if you've gotten a US visa before, you would most likely be getting a Canadian visa because they can see it, right? And they believe that US would have done their due diligence before approving your visa in the first place. Digital photo. The passport I was talking about before is your international passport. This one is digital photo, so the correct size. Like I said, if you go to all these registered places where you take passport for travel, they already have different dimensions for different countries. Your biometrics, make sure that you schedule them and you complete them. Your police clearance certificate, make sure that you get them for wherever you get it. For Nigeria, you can get it through, is it the POSAP link? I don't know if that's still working, but if it is, then I'll leave the link in the description box. Unfortunately, they used to charge in Naira before when I did mine. Now I hear they charge in USD. Or Canadian dollars, I can't remember, in dollars. Medical exam, very, very important. Make sure that you go for your medical exam because you need the results to be sent to the visa officer. Some people do their upfront medicals, some do their medicals after IRCC has requested for it. Language test, this one is not compulsory for everybody, but if it is important for you to complete an IELTS or a TOEFL test, do that as well. Provincial attestation letter, it's a new document that was introduced, was it late last year now? You need it from your provinces. Usually your university would send it to you a few days after you accept your admission letter, like your offer from your university. So you need it and you need to include it into your application because otherwise it's like an insufficient documentation. Final check is making sure that there's no inconsistency or contradictory information across all your documents, your SOPs, your bank statements. Make sure that all your forms are filled. So you have these IMM forms. Make sure that you fill those forms completely, and when you are done, validate it before you submit. Upload all your documents clearly in PDF so that it's not easily edited and they are properly labeled. That is what I did. Make sure that you do that. Also pay the full application fee and make sure that you are using, I would say, a good financial institution, because there are so many people that will pay for the application and then it will bounce later on. Either maybe the credit card, like intermediary merchant network, is down or something. So make sure you're using a reliable financial institution card so that you don't have all those issues, because otherwise IRCC will reach out to you and they can flag it sometimes as fraudulent. Also try to keep a copy of everything that you are attaching, have them labeled properly on your laptop, or even send them to yourself as an email and properly like attach everything. Continuous scanning, again, I preach continuous scanning. Even as you are doing continuous scanning, make sure they are properly labeled. This one is if you were rejected before. I was rejected for the first time. The second time was when I got approved. I've done a video on that. I'll link it up somewhere. Go check out that video. Very, 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 very key. Like, the video is 4 years old or more, but it's still very relevant. If you've been rejected before, request for GCMS notes so that you know what you're addressing in the new application, what you need to put in place. By the time you go through the GCMS notes, you kind of have an idea of where the focus should be on. Should it be on the finances or home ties? Like, what does a visa officer need? And when you get a grasp of that, include it in your letter of explanation that in reference to what you said in the GCMS notes, blah, 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 I have attached this and this and this to show proof of home ties, to make sure that you make that reference. It kind of shows that you paid attention to the rejection reason. With that, you are able to have an updated SOP, so statement of purpose or letter of explanation, to address the visa officer's concerns. In case you were rejected for financial reason, try to fix that by getting the right document, the bank statement, at least 4 to 6 months bank statement, don't make it less than that, and you explain the reason for any form of lump sum, any money that doesn't look clear. You could also get affidavit letter of support in cases where you're getting a gift deed. So gift deed could be your father, your mother, anybody can gift you a certain amount of money, and of course it will be a lump sum in your account, so you have to get a gift deed. Is it certificate or letter, and also affidavit to back it up. Yeah, you need all those legal documents. I'd also say that some people can be very careless when it comes to, you know, refusal reasons. They just get the new information and they just attach them like that without fixing the statement of purpose. They might just send the same one back. No, try to fix it, update where necessary, make references to the GCMS notes. I hear that the GCMS notes are given alongside with the refusal reason, so you don't have to wait for at least 30 days, 60 days, whatever days anymore. So please try to fix any eyebrow that has been raised by the visa officer. With this checklist, I know that you are on your way to getting your visa approved, and if you've been rejected before, try to use this checklist, cross your T's and dot your I's. So this is the end of the video. I hope that this video is very helpful for you. Don't forget to like this video if you did enjoy watching, and share this video to prospective Canadian immigrants that are coming to study here in Canada and would definitely need this video. Trust me, it's going to be very helpful for them. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.